The Queens Gambit is directed by Scott Frank and stars Anya TaylorJoy, Marielle Heller, and Thomas Brodie-Sangster. The story follows a young Beth Harmon who, after the death of her mother, is admitted to an orphanage where they heavily medicate the children, and she lives a seemingly mundane life. After stumbling into the basement and seeing the janitor, Mr. Scheibel, play chess, the 9-year-old becomes enthralled by the game and becomes one of the most skilled players Scheibel has ever seen. The story follows Harmon throughout her life as a chess player and doing whatever it takes to be the best in the world. What's up, guys? So today I'm going to be talking about a limited event series called the Queens Gambit. And I didn't really know much about this going into it other than I saw a trailer from Anya TaylorJoy's Instagram, because as of right now, Anya TaylorJoy is by far probably one of my favorite actresses. Every performance that she's been in, The Witch, Split, the M. Night Shyamalan film, Emma, the recent Jane Austen novel that was produced into a movie that she was in, every character that she portrays on screen, she just steals the presence of the screen. Everything she does is so charismatic. She's just so able to shift from drama to comedy to just, you just root for her no matter what role that she's in. Obviously I gave a little description of the story, but what's really impressive to me are all the performances in it. Obviously Anya TaylorJoy is spectacular. Every moment she is on screen, she steals the show. What's really impressive is not only the dialogue that she manages to memorize, but the way that she plays chess. So obviously she's portraying a very skilled character. I know this is not based on a real person, it's based off of a novel, but she's trying to bring this character to life on screen. And what's really impressive is just the consistency and the movement of the chess pieces and the way that the board is filmed. The editing is so well done, where it's constantly either moving across the board or you're seeing a person on a wall who's moving their chess pieces, but she's always so focused and in it to where not for one moment you don't believe that she is making these moves and understands the game to the full extent that it is played. The other performances, Marielle Heller is one of my favorites in the entire show. She plays Anya TaylorJoy's stepmother who adopts her. She just does such an incredible job. She has a very troubled home life, a broken relationship with her husband. They had a loss of a child, and that's why they chose to adopt. And she just plays the character so committed. You can tell she struggles with alcoholism and addiction, which I'll talk about a little later in the video. She just does such a great job. As I said, the cinematography and the editing are really excellent. I want to talk about it a little deeper, so I am going to give, I guess you can call them spoilers. So I'll put a little time code in the video to let you know where to skip to, so that way I'm not going to give any of the show away if you want to go in completely blind. So just go ahead and skip to that time code if you want to hear the rest of my thoughts. In the show, when Anya is first put in, played by a different actress who is just incredible, plays her at 9 years old. The entire first episode is her in the orphanage. It's just done so well. But when she's admitted, what you find out very early on is that all the children are heavily medicated. They're given 2 pills. Her best friend that becomes her best friend in the orphanage tells her that to save the one for the end of the night because it kind of makes you loopy. And the first day she takes it right away. She has trouble standing. She's like staggering over herself. And then she gets to the point where she starts holding off on them and self-medicating in large doses. And why she does this is she first stumbles upon Mr. Scheibel and he's playing chess in the basement. She's playing out moves in her head, and she's so intelligent because what's shown in the beginning of the show, her mother was a famous math professor at a prestigious college. I can't remember if it's Dartmouth or where it is, but you see her, it's very subtly done in the beginning where it's just an edited shot of like her thesis paper. And you realize that she comes from a very intellectual human being. And so what's interesting is she learns the game and she's laying in bed at night. She takes these pills and the camera always goes up on the wall and she's staring at the wall and you see this giant chessboard and the pieces just kind of move, and it's a reoccurring thing throughout the entire show. And it's done with CGI, but it's shot so well and it just looks so good. every time it's done, and you see her playing these moves out in her head. And I just thought that was a really cool cinematic choice to showcase the ability in her head that way. As far as like subtleties in the show though, they really don't beat you over the head with anything. The entire show, like I said, the reveal that her mother was a famous mathematician, so much of it is done so subtly and just with the camera movements and not expositional dialogue. For a 7-episode miniseries, there is virtually no expositional dialogue. So much nuance in it, it's so well done. I just can't talk about enough how good the cinematography and the pacing of the show are. Obviously the show plays out, Anya gets adopted by that family. Her stepfather leaves very early on and just leaves the mother, and she just falls into alcoholism. And Anya actually messages the janitor. She writes him a letter and says, "I can't enter into this tournament without $5. And he sends her the $5 to enter into a tournament, and that's really what boosts her career. And you start following her and her stepmother through all the tournaments that she plays, and then her internal struggles with self-medication and alcoholism, and then just sort of this whole concept of, are all geniuses sort of mentally unstable? And it's really fascinating because you see her mother is such an intellectual human being who literally isolated herself from her husband and from everyone because she wanted to be alone, and she got to the point where it drove her to suicide. And Anya throughout the show is constantly self-medicating. She's taking pills, she's drinking all the time. She believes deep down in herself that she cannot win chess if she does not self-medicate, and that she will not be better than the other player if she doesn't take those pills. So fascinating to watch multiple people's addictions play out through the show, and the parallel to genius and psychosis, and are most modern day geniuses a little crazy, or do they deal with mental health issues? And it's really well done. By the last episode, it's just so uplifting and well shot, but it's not too cheesy. It's not like Hallmark special garbage where you're like, oh my God, of course it's gonna end that way. It's so incredibly well acted and paced, and you're engaged every episode to where there's a cliffhanger at the end and you're just ready to start the new episode. I really cannot recommend this enough. It's a 7-episode series. The episodes range between 45 minutes to an hour and 15 minutes. They're just all in between, but I will say you'll get engaged right out of the gate. They're so well shot and well executed. The performances are fantastic. Like I said, I could watch Anya TaylorJoy read the phone book at this point and I would love it. She is just so incredible in all of her performances. I think she's off to a very strong career at such a young age, and I think we're going to see a lot from her throughout the next several years. If you guys had a chance to watch The Queen's Gambit yet, like I said, I cannot recommend it to you enough. I just think with the way 2020 has gone this year and the limited amount of movies that we've gotten, having something so engaging like a Netflix limited event series that's so well written and worth your time is really awesome. And I saw it's being mass marketed. It looks like Netflix is putting it on the homepage and getting people excited about it. So I'm hoping that in making this video, I can get you guys on board to watch it, because I'd like to see Netflix give money towards more projects like this. I never would have assumed that one of my favorite pieces of film made this year would be about a chess player, but it was really, really excellent. What did you guys think about The Queen's Gambit? Have you seen it yet? Do you want to watch it? Had you even heard about it yet? Let me know in the comments below what you think. As always, if you could like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave me some comments on what you'd like to see me review. Have you heard of anything good coming out soon? I know I have a lot of reviews coming very soon. I just recently released my promo video for my David Lynch series. I plan on reviewing his entire filmography from Eraserhead to Inland Empire, and I'm really looking forward to doing a deep dive into his work. I've got some other videos planned before that, but as always guys, thanks for watching.